years just kind of
blend together.
92, like 95-ish.
Okay.
I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah.
I don't.
So
I think I've been here forever.
So 1995-ish, you moved out here, and you were working at that time where? What was it?
It was called Camry. Excuse me. It's CAMARY. Statewide Services.
And what'd you do there? Again, I'm sorry.
I was like receptionist, book, I don't know, secretary, I guess you would call me. I wasn't really executive anything. It was more like the executive secretary, I guess you would call me. Yeah. I don't know what my official position was, because I don't think anyone really gives titles anymore.
And are they still around?
No, they merged and they were bought out by Living Resources.
That's like home health aid stuff, right?
Yeah, it's like disability type.
Okay. And where was that in Albany?
It was down. It was near Washington. There's a church on Western Ave. There's
firehouse right there too.
I don't think there was a firehouse, but like Washington Park was down. There's what was on the corner? There's like a little restaurant on the corner. What was the church called? It was like 99 something Western Avenue. I'm trying to think of the name of the restaurant that was on the corner. It was past, like I would come out North Main and go down left, and there's like, it was almost like we were on the second floor.
Okay.
And there's, what's the church? There's a church right there.
How far down to Washington Park when you were living on North Main and Western? Where, how long of a walk was it?
I had to drive, I believe.
You have to drive,
yeah.
It was that far.
Yeah.
Do you know where Western and Washington meet down north?
Kind of, yeah.
So was it before that, or was it near where they meet?
Before that, I believe.
Before that. So do you know where the SUNY campus is now down there?
No. I don't ever go down there.
I'm trying to think what else is down there.
Because we had, in the church across the street too, there were offices upstairs.
Okay. I mean, that's...
There's like a big parking lot.
Is it before Washington Park on Western?
Yes.
Because you know how big that is,
yeah,
right?
So it's this side, it was like this side of Washington Park.
So above it, closer to Main?
Yeah.
And a church, I'm trying to think.
Do you remember where the school was? Down near like Lake before the park? If you were coming down Western Avenue.
I think it was this side of that too, yeah.
It was further up from that?
That's gotta be like, was the lamppost around then? Right at Quail and Western?
Yeah.
What was, crap, I can't think, we go to can't think of the name of the place. Because it was like right on the corner, like, there was a building, it was like a 2-story, I'm trying to think of I don't know the address.
Okay. Alright, I mean.
Sounds like it's more uptown than downtown, kind of near the park.
Okay. So, I'm sorry, back to this. I can get lost in the history of
no,
Albany
that's fine.
to be perfectly
Yeah, I
honest.
don't, and I'm not from, like, I'm a kind of a transplant. I'm Guilderland, so I get down in Albany and I'm like,
lost.
Yeah, no, it's confusing. When you first move here, it's confusing because it's so much.
Even now, I'd like to go down there. I have to put my GPS on my phone because I have no clue where I'm
that's
going.
like,
but you understand.
You're much like
girl.
I mean, to me, Roxbury, where I'm from, Roxbury's like the big city. You know?
No.
I'm kidding. It's a little bit more. You guys had a gas station, Ashland. We didn't even have a gas station.
No, I think there's one. Or there used to be, but I don't know. It was like in the middle of town.
Yep.
And there was a ski area. That's pretty much all there.
Yeah. Was that Belmont?
Platicille.
I'm thinking of the one in Grand Gorge.
There's not one in Grand Gorge.
There is off Grand Gorge, yeah. If you bang that left, so when you come into Grand Gorge, if you're
in Sanford area or something like that?
Yeah. Okay. So, Mary and Dennis.
Yeah,
has anyone, no one in the family's talked about losing someone that never got accounted for? Younger though, like young.
No, I mean, my Aunt Connie didn't have kids. My Aunt Bonnie has 2 boys. My Uncle George had 3 kids. Aunt Jean has 1 and Aunt Nancy has 1 and Aunt Jean has 2. No, they're all accounted for that that I know of. My grandmother did foster kids.
Foster wouldn't matter. It's
Yeah.
bloodline stuff, you know. What about your actually? Let me ask you this, Wendy.
Yeah.
Does Wendy have kids?
She has a son.
Okay, Wendy's son. How old is he?
20.
20. And what's his name?
Brett. B-R-E-T-T.
And last name?
Morrison. M-O-R-R-I-S-O-N.
Okay.
And then she had, no, it was a stepson. Because she had
Yeah,
mother, but
that's
it was a
stepson.
stepson.
No, this is like straight
DNA.
bloodline related. Okay. Let me ask you this. Back 96, 97, 1997, right? Anyone, any of them end up being pregnant?
My sister, no. Jessica, no, she's lesbian.
Okay. She's definitely not going to have a baby.
She's not gonna have a baby. Ames and David are in Vermont. Ames has no kids. Dave has 3. George thought he was gay, but he has a child.
Okay.
And then Michelle has, I think Michelle has 2 and like 3 or 4 grandkids or something. She's younger than I am. And then Heather has a son.
Okay.
So I think that's.
But any at that time, was anybody pregnant and then like no one ever saw the kid or anything?
No.
No?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Not that you're aware of.
Again, I mean, I'm not close to my
Yeah.
cousins, but
To the best of your knowledge, do you know if any of your cousins were ever down in the Albany area back in the 90s?
possibly to go to like cross gates and shopping and stuff like that,
But
and
not
not
living,
living.
yeah.
No, not that I'm aware of, no.
And when you lived on Main, did you, how'd that go? Because I remember was that your first apartment?
It was.
Okay. How many, did you have a roommate or how?
Nope, but it was I didn't have roommates, but it was like a building, and there were 5 apartments in there.
Okay. Okay.
You know, so there were people all, upstairs.
That's an adjustment though, because how old were you?
Well, when did I say I came in? 95-ish?
Yeah, somewhere around
Or
there.
72, 82, 92, 23?
23? That's a big move. I mean, an hour away all on your own, an apartment and a job.
I had a bunch of friends here
Oh, did
that
you?
had moved from Roxbury, and, were,
Okay. So you at least.
then work, and, I was very big into, we joined a volleyball team at work, and, just very kept active,
Yeah, stuff to do.
stuff to do.
Okay. Were the friends would have all been out of school at that point, right?
Mhm.
Were they all just working?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Just.
That phase of life, the first job.
You got pretty much either you stay in Roxbury, or you get, you leave.
What'd you go to school for? Just curious.
Secretarial.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
appropriate.
How many friends came down from Roxbury, or how many were down here
There's probably,
transplanted?
At that time, there were probably 3 or 4, 5. I mean, didn't hang out with them often, but.
Actually, I didn't even ask you. So you said you have 2 kids, right?
Yes.
Okay. Any other kids?
No.
No? Okay. I know it's kind of a personal question, but it's one of the things I gotta ask. How many times have you been pregnant?
2.
2?
Yes.
Okay.
Very easy, very.
Easy pregnancies?
Mhm.
No issues?
No.
What about after? Because my wife, she got the postpartum. Did you ever get that?
No.
Really? Good for you.
No.
It was a tough time in the lawyer household.
It wasn't really.
Oh my God.
No, I have a good support system.
Okay.
And they were good.
Okay. Very cool.
And I think I babysat for so many people in Roxbury. I was the town babysitter.
Okay.
That I think, when I had my kids, it was easy for me because I'm used to crying, screaming children.
Yeah,
Kind of
that's,
prepared you.
that's a hard thing to get used to, trust me.
You're the father of your 2 children, Josh and Hannah.
Yes.
You guys still together or
No, we're divorced.
divorced? Did you meet him in Roxbury or down here?
Nope, here.
Here?
We work together. Yeah.
At Tri-City?
Nope, at Camry.
Like the living
the
resources.
first-
New.
yes.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yep.
So when did you meet him? How long after you came here?
Well, I met him immediately because we worked together.
Yep.
But then we started dating probably 2 years later. He was actually engaged.
Oh, he was
and then
engaged.
he was engaged, and then they broke up, and then, yeah.
Okay. And when did you guys separate? I'm just curious.
2016.
2016.
Yes.
So you
Don't
meet,
get me started on that one.
No.
All right. So you meet him. You guys are together for that time. Okay. So part of this is we're going around, we're trying to collect DNA samples from people,
Mhm.
all right, to try and match to the remains and that we're doing. Is that something you'd be able to help us out
Yeah,
with?
that's
Give us
fine.
a sample of DNA. Okay. Yeah, we can do that here in a moment.
So the remains were found where? Can you tell me that?
Yeah. So, are you familiar with this area at all?
Within Washington Park? I've seen it during Tulip Festival.
Okay. Have you ever been here?
Just the only time I ever gone to Washington Park was Tulip Festival.
Tulip Fest. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So where these flower beds are over here, right by this road, this
Mhm.
is where the remains
Oh.
were found. Yeah. Okay. But, I mean, easy
Ooh, I'm
enough.
sorry, I got goosebumps.
Oh, it's horrible.
Ugh.
I mean, it's, every I'm sure whoever, whatever happened, there's an explanation, because generally there's an explanation to everything that happens, because it
Right.
happened, right?
Right.
It's just a matter of figuring it out, and I think eventually we'll do that, but part of that is talking to people and figuring out, we can do so much investigatively, like following DNA trails and stuff, and it is super cool, like, the way this stuff works. Like, I swear to you, soon, we're not there yet, but
So how does that work with DNA? Can you pinpoint?
yeah.
I don't watch any of those stupid.
No.
Sorry, I don't mean
No,
stupid
it's not.
shows. They're
You're
like-
insulting my career.
No,
I'm kidding.
they freak me out.
Yeah.
So DNA
What-
is pretty cool because, in a sense, everyone's fingerprint is different, right? It's
Mhm.
distinct. DNA is like your genetic fingerprint. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And whenever people are created, you get some DNA from mom, some DNA from dad. So
Mhm.
as the years progress and the trees branch out, there's parts of those pieces of DNA that go with every person. Just gets a little
Right.
mixed up, and that's where your traits come from.
I mean, the thing about this, and it's law enforcement's not a special thing. It's like someone figures out a cool thing to do to solve crimes,
Right.
or figure stuff out, because not everything's a crime,
Mhm.
but to figure stuff out, and then everyone gets on it. Like Golden State Killer, he was a serial killer, rapist, running around California for years, like numerous victims, and then they employed this technology that we're kind of using now.
Mhm.
And they were able to link him to all these crimes from like 30 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's a
That's
game changer.
crazy.
It's actually a huge help, Like, it generally does help us do what we got to do. So the way it works is, we go around, we obtain DNA samples from a bunch of different people, and then we end up zeroing in and figure out who mom and dad are.
Mhm.
Because it's that same kind of thing where everyone's DNA starts spreading out the branches of the trees.
Right.
But the more samples that we can find and we can keep comparing them, it keeps bringing us in because we find
Oh, wow.
the traits that are
Yeah.
similar between the people.
That's amazing.
It's pretty cool.
It's cool, and it's like I said, this is a baby, if you couldn't tell.
I'm
yeah.
gonna throw up. That's gross.
I know. I mean, here's the thing, though, is we're just trying to figure out what happened to it. The remains, they are what they are. We're honestly trying to just fill in the blanks here.
Mhm.
This is a historic event that happened. It is what it is. No one's changing that now. We're
Right.
just trying to get some answers and figure out exactly what occurred. Whoever the mother and father are, have their reasons for whatever they did. I'm not saying it's right. but,
Right.
You never know what kind of headspace someone's in. Like, you could look at me and I could appear put together, but I'm a mess in my personal life,
And who knows what's going on in their lives at the time.
Yeah.
Right. No.
As far as turmoil,
Yeah.
what's happening.
And the other interesting part about this is it's so long ago. It's 27 years ago. Like, no one's the same person they were 27 years ago. No one's the same person they were 27 days ago.
Right.
So that's what we're trying to sort out, but all we can do is ask the questions. And like I said, I appreciate you. So that's the family.
Yeah, I don't think.
At no point, you don't remember your sister being pregnant in 1997, and you were never pregnant in 1997? Never miscarried, never had a pregnancy before. Who's the older, Hannah or Josh?
No, Hannah.
Okay. Never had a child or were pregnant before Hannah?
No.
Okay.
And no one that you know of as far as cousin-wise that was pregnant or that was in Albany or nothing that you can think of? Because I know you said that you weren't really close with them.
No, I mean, no, my two are in Vermont. Jess, not having a child. No.
Okay. All right, fair enough. And I appreciate you helping us out with the DNA. That's actually a big help. The other part of it is this. I'm not saying I don't believe you by any means, right? But one of the other things we the best way to describe it is we're mixing old school and new school, right? We're doing this new school DNA stuff, but we're also doing the old school in the sense of if people are willing to do it, we're trying to bring it back. Would you be willing to take a polygraph examination for us?
Sure.
Okay, awesome. We're trying to mix those in too. So, yeah, let's go get our forensics guy will come in to do the DNA. It's just a swab, so it's much like a Q-tip. And all you're going to do, he's going to have you go over a consent form just saying, yeah, I consent to give my DNA to the Albany Police Department. And then you'll take it and just rub it on the inside of your cheek.
Okay.
Is that crazy? It's just like the ones that they send home, like when people do DNA stuff that they send into all these different websites.
Yeah.
It's like the same exact thing.
Perfect.
So we'll be right back with
Give
that.
me 1 moment here. You sure you don't need coffee or water?
No,
or
I'm
something?
fine. What time is it?
It is 8:12.
Okay.
So you're good.
Can I have my phone back just so I can text and tell him I'm not going to be in time? I start at 8:30.
Yeah, let me grab it and we'll get it in here with the DNA.
Yeah, and then I'll give it back to you or whatever.
Perfect. Appreciate it. Hang tight 1 sec.
I was doing the math. I moved here in '97
You moved here in
because
'97.
I worked for an insurance company in Roxbury for 5 years. I graduated in '92
In '97, which insurance company?
in Roxbury, Mid-Rox.
My dad worked at Mid-Rox.
Who?
Bob Lawyer.
I think it was Afterby? With Carol Wilson and Fred Morse?
He would have been there probably in '85 to '87.
So before
yeah,
me.
way before you. No kidding. Small world, isn't it?
Right?
So this is Detective Zucchelli. He's in our forensic investigation unit.
Good morning. Sorry. I'm just trying to text work to let them know I'm going to be late. Sorry about that.
No, all good. Here, let me see that actually. They get buggy about, for some
nope,
reason,
that's fine.
I don't. This place is like, yeah.
No, I got it.
There's just a consent form that you're giving me the DNA voluntarily. If you want to read that and sign it for me, I appreciate it. Just used in this case only. It's not put into a database or anything used against in any other cases. Keri Mazzuca.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to brush up the inside of your cheek. This doesn't hurt or anything like that.
Kind of like when they scrub you for the strep test, but not not in your
Way,
throat.
way easier than that. Just open your mouth for me. That's it. People get nervous. They think it's going to be like the COVID thing.
Oh,
No, it's just,
gross.
yeah, it was terrible and unpleasant, so. Detective Laura will be right back in with you, right?
Okay.
Thank you so much.
that should not take all that long. They're pretty quick about the DNA. Alright, fair enough. I'm sorry, what's Hannah and Josh? Oh, don't say
It's
that.
coming. Oh, see, now it's stuck. Now
Ah.
it's stuck.
And Josh what?
What's their dad's name?
Jason Mazzuca.
Mazzuca. You said you moved here, it's actually 97 you moved here?
I believe, yes, because I graduated high school in 90, graduated college in 92, worked for the insurance company for 5 years. 3, 4, 5, 6, 90, yes.
Okay.
And I moved in August? June?
June or July?
August.
Okay.
I'd have to, like I said, I'm so terrible with like dates, times, years.
No,
I'd have
that's
to go
all
back
good.
a year, but yeah.
And that was the first apartment you've ever had?
Yes.
Okay. And when you went to Delhi, were you living at home?
No, I was living in the dorms.
You're living in the dorms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And when you were working at
Camry?
Camry.
no, not Camry, the
Insurance company?
insurance
I was
company.
living with my parents.
You're living with your parents, and they were in Roxbury.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And when you started working at the place here in Albany, the
Camry?
Camry.
Yeah, you're never gonna get that one.
I swear to God, I'll get it by the end of this. When you were working at Camry, what was your schedule like there?
8 to 4, 9 to 5.
8 to 4.
Like a regular work
Yeah,
day.
right, and then Fridays in the summer we got out at like 1.
Okay. Okay. So you moved here in, you believe, July or August? June, July, August, somewhere in the summer.
Yeah.
Do you remember
summer-
what season?
Yeah.
Summer.
Summerish, spring, summer.
Summer of '97. And
I'm not trying to be difficult here. I'm
No,
just
no,
like,
I'm not-
it's
it's 27
20-something
years
years ago. Yeah.
it's 27 years ago. If you don't know, you don't know. That's the truth, right?
Right.
So how long after you got to Albany and started working there did you link up with Jason?
So we started working together probably year and a half
Okay.
after.
A year and a half
Because,
after.
like I said, he was engaged. You know, we were just friends, and then his engagement broke off, and then
Okay.
Was he working at Camry when you started?
he was.
He
Yes.
was?
Yeah.
Okay. And
We were in the same office
Oh, okay.
prior to him, any boyfriends, anything like that?
in college.
Yeah.
And then I did. Excuse me. Can I get a water at some point?
Yeah, I'll go.
No, that's fine. I did have. Do you want me to wait for him to come back?
No, you're not. Go ahead.
I did have 2 boyfriends in college.
Okay.
And then when I came up here, I was, not really dating. We joined our company, had a volleyball team, and we would hang out and stuff, but I never really dated anyone up here until I met Jason.
Okay.
And then we started dating.
Okay. Fair enough. I gotta add, so part of the
Mhm.
thing is, we're asking people as we're going through. So this is a very newborn baby that gets found.
Mhm.
And we're trying to hash that out as to exactly what happened to it. And we're just getting people's perspective.
Right.
Like, I mean, these remains, they get found in Washington Park. I mean, in your mind, what would cause someone to leave a baby in a place? Anything you could think of?
No. Because they have all those, hospitals, safe places.
Yeah, like a safe haven for new kids.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're trying to wrap our head around.
No idea. No idea.
I mean, so there's some aggravating factors with this as well.
I think especially, how,
Right. I mean, that's what we're trying to wrap our heads around and get from people. I mean, this happened, and I think within short order we're going to be able to figure out definitely who mom is,
Mhm.
and then we'll work through who dad is, and we got to collect all these DNA samples and go from there.
Oof.
But you know, the thing about this is, so I'm sorry I gotta show you this, but I do, because it is important, okay? Baby was actually set on fire.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not only was it abandoned, but
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we're trying to figure out
Ooh.
exactly what happened to this baby.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because here's the thing, right? Is it could be a couple different things here. We know the baby was alive. We know it breathed, had lung flowing through its airs, was healthy, was crying. And then this happened.
Ugh.
So we're trying to figure out, you know, who did it. Obviously, right?
Right. No.
Because in your mind, I mean, you see that. What's that scream to you?
It's crazy.
Right.
Ugh.
But I mean, as I said, everything's explainable.
Right.
You know, but it's not me. I don't know. Especially when we can prove it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the spot you want to be, or someone wants to be, I should say.
Right.
Right. Like if someone is truly related, or the mother or father of this child, the best thing they could do when we talk to them, and this is just me thinking out loud, is the best thing they could do when we talk to them is be truthful, right? Like, yeah, all right, yeah, this is what happened, but I didn't do that, or so and so did that, but people that lie, that ain't gonna go their way, right? Because everything gets figured out. As I was telling you, like that Golden State guy,
right,
or all this stuff. Look at that, the Giglio Beach guy that killed all those girls.
Right.
They figure it out, because what they do is we end up, we go, we get DNA, we make comparisons, and God helps someone if they lie. Because all you have is your credibility, right? Because 27 years ago, baby Moses gets found here, right? And say you are mom, right? I'm not saying you are, but say you are, right? And we bring you down here, and you say, no, I'm not the mother. I was never pregnant then. What if that's not true? Like, we can figure all that stuff out, right? And then what happens is we go, hey, guess what? We found this baby dead and burned, and the mother said she's not the mother. What's that scream to you? If you're like,
I did it. I did it.
You did it?
I did it.
What happened?
I got pregnant. I had the baby. I gave birth in my bathtub. Baby died. Didn't know how to get rid of it.
How'd the baby die?
I think I had water in the bathtub. I think it drowned.
You drowned it?
I didn't drown it.
In that bathtub?
Yes.
Inside that apartment? Right there?
Yes.
Why'd you burn the baby?
I didn't burn the baby.
Who did?
I don't know who did.
Who'd you give the baby to?
I had the baby by myself. I went down to the park and I handed it to somebody.
Who'd you hand it to?
I don't know. Some random person.
Keri, that doesn't make sense.
I swear to God.
You did not hand this baby to a random person. That didn't happen.
I didn't know what to do. I set the baby on fire.
Was it screaming?
No, it was dead. It was dead.
So, what'd you put the baby in?
A towel.
A towel? Because the doctor who did the autopsy says your version's bullshit.
I put it in it.
No, what I'm saying is this baby was breathing for minutes. This baby was alive.
I had it in the... I did.
That doesn't lie. This is 27 years ago. Let's clean this up. Let's be done with this here and now. That baby died, not of natural causes.
I didn't kill the baby that I'm aware of. I had it in the bathtub.
and it didn't drown, there's no water in the lungs, that didn't happen. It's not of natural causes, there's no trauma, so that leaves one thing. And you know what that one thing is?
Suffocation?
Yeah. Here's the thing. I get it. You're all alone in 1997. You probably moved here because you were pregnant and you were trying to hide it.
I did not. I moved here for a job.
Moved here for a job?
I didn't know I was pregnant until after I moved here.
Okay. Fair enough. And that, listen, I'm not disagreeing with you. That is probably the truth.
That is the truth.
But we know definitively that this child breathed. We know it was taking breath in its little lungs. All right? If you freaked out and did this, that's fine. But we need to know.
Yes.
Yes, what?
I suffocated the child.
With what?
I put it in a bag.
Put it in a bag? Did you cover his mouth, his nose?
I don't remember. I don't remember that part. I may have. I don't know that I put it in a bag though.
Okay, let's talk about this. Did you hear the baby cry and screaming?
I did not.
You didn't hear the baby cry?
No, I swear. That I remember. I do not remember hearing the baby crying.
And you put him in a bag, and we know he's alive. We definitely know that from the doctor. You know?
Because an autopsy was completed on the baby, and that's how we know the baby didn't drown.
Right.
So that's what we need to figure out, and we honestly want to know because there's, the one thing I've consistently said about this whole thing is I have more questions than I have answers, and I hate being in that spot, So we're trying to figure that out, and we need to flush that out so we can all move forward. This is a long, long time ago. You know what I mean? So you have the baby in the tub. It doesn't drown.
No.
Okay.
I did have it in the tub. I don't remember covering its mouth and nose. Did I? Maybe. I do remember putting it in a bag. I don't remember hearing it cry.
What kind of bag?
I think like a Walmart type.
Like a plastic bag?
Like a plastic bag.
Okay. And then, how'd you get down to Washington Park?
Drove.
You drove. And you're by yourself?
Yeah. 1,000%.
What kind of car did you have back then?
I think I had a Honda Civic.
What color was it?
Green, blue?
Green and blue?
I think it was like a greenish, bluish color at that
Gotcha.
point.
So you
I think that was the car that I had at that point.
So you put the baby in a bag. Did you have a name picked out?
No.
When did you figure out you were pregnant? I'm just curious.
I moved to Albany, and then it was probably like a month later. I didn't, I was living at home with my parents, and
Yeah.
Did you ever go see a doctor about being pregnant?
No.
So nobody knew?
No.
It was just, you found out and kind of kept it to yourself?
And like I said, I gave birth in the bathtub.
Yeah. And then you go to Washington Park. At any point, did you see any, when you're on your way down there, did you see any police stations? Did you see any hospitals? Did you see any?
No, no.
Right.
You just
want to get rid of the baby. How'd you figure out to set it on fire?
I don't know. I don't.
Do you remember if you used matches or a lighter?
I think matches. I don't think I had a lighter.
Matches.
I think. Why? I don't.
So I gotta ask you the natural thing, because based on the way the baby's found, did you hear scream cries as the baby was burning?
No, I think the baby was dead at that point.
At what point, before or after you leave your house, did the baby die?
I think before.
Before? Like how long after? Because, I've had kids. I've been in the delivery room when my wife's had kids. I want you to think back to Hannah and Josh. And were those natural births?
Yes.
Or were those C-sections?
No, those are natural.
Natural. So I want you to think back to that. Like, you remember how after you had Hannah or Josh, how you hear that first cry?
Right. Yes. No. Yes. I do. I was older.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. You're a kid. You were 4 or 5 when this happened?
But 97?
Yeah.
I was born in 72,
Yeah.
82, 92, 2002. When was it, 97?
Yeah. So,
25.
I mean, yeah, you're a kid at that point. Well, I say that now because I'm older, but you know, when you heard that with Hannah, when you heard that with Josh, I want you to think back with this because it's not. I didn't hear it. You'd remember it. I mean,
I don't remember. I don't remember the crying.
You
I don't remember it. No.
Do you remember the baby looking at you?
No. No, I think I was just so, like I said, gave birth in the bathtub, was dealing with myself. I don't think I really. I don't have. I don't remember it crying. I don't remember.
Did you remember moving?
No, not. No, I mean it was. I think I was just trying to take care of myself. You know.
Yeah. How did you sever the umbilical cord?
Scissors.
Scissors. Okay. I mean, here's the thing. We know from what the doctor told us, right, that this baby was taking breaths, was alive, right? So what we need to sort out now, between us three in this room, so we can all be done with it and move on, is how exactly this baby died, right? I mean, here's the thing.
I must have suffocated it. I mean,
it's
that's all I can. My recollection, like I blocked it.
Let's do this. I want you to take a deep breath, and we're going to go in a time warp to 1997. September 1997. Was it night or early morning when you had the baby?
I think it was evening.
Evening. So 27 years ago today, actually. September 6th of 1997. That means that baby was born.
Wow.
That's what I mean. It's been a long time. Let's sort this out, the three of us, and get past it together. And then we're done with it. But people need answers. Yourself included, too.
Right.
This is solid self-reflection on what occurred. And you're not that person anymore, I can tell.
No.
I can tell you're not that person anymore. You grew up. You had 2 kids. You lived the American dream. You have a nice little piece of land on Ostrander Road. Nice little yellow house. You drive a nice car. You have a good thing here. Okay? So let's be this the last time we go through this. But let's be honest. We'll do it together. And then we'll all move on together. So, 27 years ago, on today's date, in the evening hours.
I believe it was evening.
Yep. You believe it was evening. How long were you in labor?
I don't know because it was my first child. I was young, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just know that I was having pains and I got in the bathtub to kind of like, because I read online, whatever.
Yeah. But you knew you were pregnant, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Were you showing?
I don't believe really, no. Nobody ever questioned me.
Really? Some people carry it, some people...
Even with my other 2 though, I wasn't.
Yeah.
But.
Okay. And how long do you think you were in the bathtub?
45 minutes, an hour, maybe?
And prior to this, had you gone and seen a doctor, an OB, anything?
No.
No? Okay. So you carry this baby.
The only reason I knew I was pregnant is because I didn't get my period.
Right. When did you notice you didn't get your period?
I think when I moved up here. Like, I was living with my parents. Like, I was young. I was stupid. I didn't really pay attention.
Yeah.
But I've always been off and had issues and stuff, so it was not anything
Right.
out of the ordinary.
Yeah. No, that happens. Sometimes it goes a little long.
Yeah,
it's not a science,
right.
Okay. So then you start getting cramps, and you've done some research on your own online. Told you to get in the bathtub.
Mm-hmm.
So you get in the bathtub, and then what happens?
I just kind of sat there, and then I just felt like pressure,
Okay.
and then I just felt the baby coming out, and
Yeah. Because here's the thing of this, is, do you remember cleaning the baby off at all?
I don't remember cleaning the baby off.
Because babies that just come out, I mean, you've seen,
Yeah.
they don't look like that. So this baby was cared for somewhat.
I don't. I mean, I think I blocked it out. I don't remember cleaning the baby off. I don't.
Right. Well, we need to unblock it so we can figure this out.
I mean, I gave birth in the bathtub. I mean, I may have like the towels because I was in the water anyway.
Yeah.
But then I remember putting the baby outside the tub because I was trying to figure out the umbilical cord.
Was that slippery with them moving around and stuff? Like, did you have to get a good grip?
I'm assuming I would have to have, yeah.
Because they're little arms, you know what I mean? And
I don't even know if it was a boy or a girl.
It was a boy. It was a boy. First son was a boy. And then you clean yourself up. Do you have to carry the baby out to get the scissors?
No, I had the scissors with me.
So you knew this was going to happen, you wanted to be prepared. Okay. And then you cut the umbilical cord. Were you still in the tub when you cut it?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I stayed in the tub because I didn't know like what was going to happen
Right.
with the umbilical cord.
I got you. All right. Well, now we got to talk about the part where the baby stops breathing. And we got to do an honest account of that with each other. Not I think, because this is something you don't forget. You probably haven't thought about it in a long time, but it's definitely something you don't forget.
I put my hands over its mouth and nose.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
And then you press down?
Yeah. I think.
No, not I think. It's either you did or you didn't.
I-
And I'm not pressuring you to say something, but I need a definitive answer here.
Yes.
Yes, what?
I pressed down.
Did the baby stop crying when you did that?
Again, I don't remember the baby crying, but it must have. I don't remember the baby crying.
I want you to think back to 1997 when you had your hand over that mouth and nose. Did you feel those little breaths hitting your hand?
Yes.
How long until it stopped?
Minutes? I don't know.
You held your hand on the baby for 10 minutes.
I don't. Timing, I don't know.
Why?
Why did I do it?
Yeah.
I think I just had no clue what I think I was just in shock.
You're in shock. Had you met Jason yet at that point?
We were working together.
Did you like him at that point?
No, he was engaged. He was, we were just co-workers.
So this is something you were young and you were scared?
Yeah, he doesn't even know about this.
Doesn't know.
No.
Have you ever told anyone?
No.
Never
Nobody.
Told anyone?
No.
Never told anybody?
No.
Not mom, dad,
Nobody.
sister, nobody?
Nobody.
Just kept it inside the whole time?
Yeah.
Now, I gotta ask you this, because it's been a long time. After 27 years, how have you never told to anyone?
I'm ashamed. I'm embarrassed. I blocked it out of my memory. I didn't even know today was the date. Like, I just, wiped it.
What's it feel like to kill someone?
Terrible. Terrible.
Like, walk me through your emotions. I always ask everyone that's killed someone, and you're not the first person.
Shame, embarrassment, hatred of myself.
When did that kick in?
Immediately.
After you did it?
Mm-hmm.
So after you pressed on that baby's face, and you recall pushing on his face,
I do now, yes.
and you felt those little
Breath
breaths hitting your hand, and then you felt them stop. How long after that did you take this baby down to Washington Park?
An hour or two.
An hour or two. And that's a towel, you said?
I believe it was a towel. A blanket, a towel.
And you
I don't-
put,
Was it a towel?
kind of looks like a pillowcase, to
it
be
does look
perfectly
like a
honest.
pillowcase.
Could be a towel. I don't know. Pillowcase, towel, some sort of cloth object. Did you wrap it in that?
Yes.
But the baby was definitely dead before you set it on fire, right?
Yes. 1,000% it was dead before I left the apartment.
You killed it.
I believe it was dead before I left the apartment. I can't say 100% sure because I didn't, feel pulse or anything. I didn't.
If you had, let me ask you this, if you had not done what you did, would that baby still be alive today?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Anything we didn't ask you that you think's important?
No.
Did you go to? Do you remember what day of the week it was that this happened?
I have
Was
no
it-
idea.
Not sure.
No.
Did you go to work after?
I think it might have been a weekend. No, I didn't go to work after. So no, it was evening.
Evening.
So I wouldn't have gone to work.
Why Washington Park?
That's a good question. I think I just was new to the area and didn't know and just
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
I
this
figured
is-
it was such a crazy location that anybody.
Do you remember seeing all the stuff on the news about it?
I do not. I
No.
blocked. I didn't watch the
Didn't
news
watch.
after. No.
a lot of people actually showed up to that funeral. A lot of people. Thank you. A lot of people, for a lot of years,
We're wondering.
wanted to know. Not even for someone to be in trouble. No, people don't care. People want to
I
know.
blocked it out. I just, I just, even today, I did. I just like it.
If you could say anything to that baby right now, what would it be?
I love you and I'm sorry.
If he asked you, why'd you do this to me?
I was young, stupid, and
It's if I could show you the panorama one, went all the way around.
Did you ever go back to the park? No, never.
no. I mean, I've gone for like the Tulip Fest or something like that, but no,
Events, but not.
no,
Did you ever go, when you went for Tool Fest, did you ever go to this area?
no. I mean, just walking around with friends or whatever. But I just, like I said, I blocked it out.
Yeah. But after reopening that today here with us, I want to make sure that I have this correct. And I'm not misstating anything. And this is your account as you recall it. You moved here in the summer of 1997. You began working at Camry.
Yes.
Told you I'd remember it. Okay. You start working at Camry. You meet Jason at that time. You guys don't become romantically involved until about a year and a half later.
Yeah.
You knew you were pregnant. You didn't go seek care for it. You didn't really show that much. You did research online. So in the evening hours, we know of September, right, from what we're talking about. But as you recall it, the evening hours, you started feeling cramping, and you believed that was you about to give birth.
Mhm.
You got a pair of scissors. You went into the bathtub where you ran warm water, I would assume?
Yeah.
Where you ran warm water. And then you delivered the baby. You pulled the baby out. You cut the umbilical cord. Cut it with your right hand or your left hand?
I'm right-handed, right hand.
Right-handed, okay. You recall baby moving around. You don't recall if it was crying, but you know it was alive because it was moving. You put the baby down.
Cut
You cut the umbilical cord. You take care of yourself. And then you placed your hand over the baby's nose and mouth and applied pressure until the baby stopped moving. Did you know you were going to kill it when you were doing that?
Yes. I think yes.
So you
I
knew what you were doing, but you did it, correct?
Right. I knew what I was doing. I was young. I was stupid. I didn't,
Okay.
yeah.
So you intentionally kill this baby. Then, after about an hour, you go to Washington Park and set the baby on fire. And if that baby were alive today, you would say, I love you and I'm sorry.
Now that I'm older, wiser, have kids, and Yeah.
Yeah, you're not.
You're young, stupid, and
Yeah, it's a long time ago,
a
Keri.
long time ago.
Keri, do you know who the father is?
Where does he live?
I have no idea.
How'd you link up with him?
We were in Roxbury together.
Roxbury?
He's old, much older than well, not much older, but he's older than I am. And
Like how much older?
5 years. I think he's married now. I don't know if he has kids.
And that was a consensual thing you guys had done together? That wasn't.
It was consensual, yes. He has no idea. He didn't even know I was pregnant.
Okay. But I'm saying you weren't raped or anything
No.
like that.
No.
So you were just young and freaked out and killed
Young,
this kid.
stupid. Yeah.
Do you believe the father was?
Yes.
And he's from Roxbury?
Yes.
Do you ever remember any romantic involvement with anyone with the Were you like dating at the time?
We were.
So it was kind of okay.
Yeah.
So that's why you're pretty confident that
I
that's
know. I 100% know it was him. He was the only one I was sexually active with
At that time?
At that time.
Okay.
I
Gotcha.
don't know any Slater.
No. Again, with the DNA thing, like, and they try to figure out stuff and the ways that it points. I ask.
Yeah, no, don't.
Okay. I think that's a lot. I think we just talked about a whole lot. I gotta ask you this. Are you presently thinking about harming yourself?
No.
Okay.
No.
You give me your word?
Yes.
Okay.
Swear. Yep.
I don't care what anyone has done. Like
I'm in a relationship. I'm happy. My kids.
Yeah.
So now what? Now?
I mean, we got to figure out what's what now. And I want to honestly just take a second and process everything we just talked about because and I'm sure you do too.
Right. I mean, am I in trouble? Am I going to be arrested? Am I?
I mean, I can't definitively say that. I honestly don't know. Like, you know, it's so long ago and there's so many variables. I'm more mainly concerned with, like, I don't care if people get arrested or not, as like just me as a cop. I never care about that. That's why I love investigations because
Right.
all I want to do is just figure out what happened.
Right.
Like, if you didn't kill this kid, great. If you did,
Yes.
don't do that.
No.
You know. I mean,
Yeah.
we got to figure it out. Give me a minute to process everything we just said here, because it is a lot. I honestly don't know, Keri. You know, what do you think should happen out of this?
Personally, if it was years ago, I think I should be in trouble. It's 27 years later. I've got my life back in order. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, I did it.
Did what?
I killed a child. I killed a baby.
Yeah, I mean,
I
would you say you murdered it?
I would have to say that's what I did.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time. So give me a minute here. Are you good with the water? You need anything else? Something to eat or? Okay.
No.
Give Bob and I here a moment. So Bob and I were just talking about everything. We just had some follow-up stuff that we wanted to flush out with you. So you said you didn't show at all? Like it's summer, you know?
But even with my other two, I didn't really. I mean, I did a little, but not. I don't like. Nobody noticed. Nobody asked me if I was pregnant. Nobody said anything to me. Nobody.
Because I mean, we're working off timelines. Like, when did you realize you're pregnant before or after you moved to Albany?
After.
After.
I think, like I said, I was young. I was stupid. I didn't. You know what I mean? Like.
Because
I don't think that I. Maybe I was in denial.
Yeah,
you know, I don't, like, my mom never asked me. I don't.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Just hear me out here for a second, right? Because based on the timeline, the earliest you could have moved here was June, right?
I was sitting here trying to remember when I moved here.
Yeah.
I don't know when I started my job, like in.
Gotcha.
May. I mean, I don't. I really, truly do not know 27 years ago when I moved to Albany.
So, by all accounts, even if you came here in May, if the baby's born in September, that means you were what? At least 4 months pregnant when you moved here?
Most likely, yes.
Right. So, and I mean, here's the thing with periods. You get them usually you get them every month.
I didn't. I've had issues since I got it at 12.
Okay. Because here's where my head's at, right? And this is a logical question. And if it's the truth, it's the truth. It really doesn't matter, right? Like, we could sit here and you could tell me, yes, I killed that baby. I don't care. If you told me, if it was someone saying they sexually assaulted a child, that would probably upset me more, right? This isn't that, okay? But I'm also applying common sense to what you're saying, right? And once again, I don't give a shit what happened. I really don't care. But my job is to hammer down what the truth is. His too.
I mean, was I shown? I don't, like I said.
Well, you might not have showed, right? That could very well be. All right? But my point of this is, you don't get your period for 4 months.
I should have questioned it at that time. But like I said, I got my period when I was 12, and I've never been. Actually,
this kind of makes sense. So, growing up, what was the family life like?
It was great.
Great?
Yeah.
All American? Because I know a small town, 100%.
My dad was a corrections officer. My mom worked in the school. You know, it was great.
Religious?
No, not very.
Okay. What about, like, what would your parents have said if they found out you got pregnant at that time?
They would have supported me. They would have done anything they could have to help me.
Okay. And the guy that got you pregnant, what was his name again? Situation at the time. Were you guys dating or?
Yes, sort of. Like, we weren't like, there was no one else. You know what I mean? I mean, we were in a small town. We were dating. I guess you could call it dating. Like, we weren't together all the time.
Did you guys ever talk about, like, getting married or anything? No, just casual, fun thing.
Yeah.
Because where I sit with this is well after you don't get your period, at the earliest 4 months, at the latest 6 months into being pregnant, when you would ideally start showing, you leave Roxbury and come to Albany. Right?
That was in the works prior.
Okay.
Like, I had been looking. I had applied in Cooperstown. I had applied at jobs all over the place.
Right.
Because I mean, Roxbury, it was not for me. There's, I don't, you know, and that's why I'm looking at you. I mean, it's small town. I was like, I had to get out. So it wasn't a.
Trust me, if I still lived in Ashland, I'd be doing site work. You know, driving a dump truck.
It wasn't because I was pregnant that I was getting out. I was getting out because I didn't want to be there anymore. Like, I had been looking, like I said, I applied in Cooperstown, I applied all over the place for jobs.
Yeah.
And I was coming up here for different interviews, and I happened to get the job up here.
So you had this job here when you came here?
Yes, I had, right.
That was the whole move, was to come.
Correct, right. Like I said, I had applied at, like, Bassett Hospital and different, I was just trying to get out of Roxbury.
I gotcha.
I didn't want to be small town anymore.
So, how long before this thing happens do you start researching, like, because you said you looked up on the internet what to do with the umbilical?
Once I realized I was pregnant.
And how long do you think that was before?
Probably like a month.
A month? Okay. So, you know, I know you said you freaked out, right? But we gotta, I hate to do this to you and I'm sorry, but we gotta go back in time. We gotta do it again, all right? We have to go back to the sights, the sounds, the smells, the feel of what happened in that apartment on Western Avenue in 1997. You start getting the cramps, you get the scissors, you go in the bathroom. Describe to me what you're thinking, what you're hearing, what you're smelling, what you're seeing. If you gotta close your eyes to do it, because that helps some people too. And I'm sorry, it's a long time ago, but let's close this book, okay? So take a second, but let's go back there.
I mean, I was home, I felt the cramping, and I just, at that point, I knew I was in labor.
Yeah.
So I had, read that if you put warm water in the bathtub, it helps with the cramping. Honestly, I was panicked, didn't really know what to do. Got in the bathtub and just, kept like massaging my stomach, and then I eventually, it was probably like an hour and a half, gave birth.
What were you thinking about at the time? Were you thinking about, fuck, my life's about to change?
I was thinking about, what do I do? What how nobody knows. I'm by myself. What do I do?
Right.
I think at that point I really didn't know. I think, and then I gave birth and the baby's in front of me and it was, oh shit. And I put the baby on the floor because I didn't know what to do. Like I was afraid I was gonna die. Because
Really?
I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Or how to handle, and then I cut the umbilical cord, praying that it was where it needed to be cut. Stayed in the bathtub, and then I remember like getting out and feeling like I was gonna pass out.
I mean, that's gotta be, fuck me, that's a lot, right?
Yeah, and then
You're sitting in that bathtub, the warm water, you just given birth, you're sitting there trying to figure out what to do. You got this new
blood everywhere.
There was blood. You got this newborn crying next to you, moving around,
Mm-hmm.
and you're all by yourself.
Mm-hmm. And I think I just, stupid, young, didn't know what the hell, and I just.
Did you? Well, actually, that kind of makes sense. Were you worried the neighbors would hear it? Let's go back to that time.
Yeah, but I do not recall the baby crying.
Okay.
But I do remember, like, just,
If you did, you did.
yeah,
I
like I said, I don't remember any crying, but I do remember, and I don't know.
But you do remember it breathing, correct?
And I do remember.
Okay. Did you think about, like, before you did it, how, like, if you kept the baby, how it would change your life?
I knew I wasn't going to keep it, but after I did it, then my mind, there was like, on the corner, there was like a child, St. Catherine's or some center there, and, as soon as I did it, it was like, oh my God, I should have,
Oh, after you.
Right, it's, I don't know, it's like, you do it, and then it's like, oh shit, I should have.
So you felt regret right after
Absolutely.
you did it? But at that time when you did it, like, I mean, No, you said it yourself. No one knew.
No,
Like-
nobody. No, I didn't tell anybody. Not one person knew.
And that'd be like a shock to your parents, right? Like, hey, mom, dad, I just had a baby.
Yeah.
You know.
They would have been supportive.
Right.
I mean, but that's our relationship. I just
I mean, I gotta ask you, would it have brought shame, perhaps?
maybe a little bit, but
Or is it just like, I mean,
more to me probably. I mean,
Yeah.
my you know.
I mean, you're 25 years old, you're just starting your life. Are you thinking about that? Like, shit, my life's gonna be totally different if I have this kid.
I don't honestly. I don't even. I think I was in denial the whole time. I think I was just in, young, stupid denial. I mean, you're 97 and you're starting your life, and
Yeah.
like
And then, so after you press on the baby, you feel it stop breathing. The bag, was it paper or
I
plastic?
think it was plastic. I think
Because
it was
there's no plastic burned on that baby.
I think I took it out.
You took it out?
Yeah.
So walk me through that. How do you get it from the apartment to your car?
I had it in the plastic bag. I put it in the bag, in the towel, and put it in my car. Carried it out like it was groceries.
You carried it out like it was groceries?
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like you thought, I mean, taking it out like it's trash, you know?
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you go out to the car with it like it's groceries.
Take it to the park.
You see St. Catherine's right around the corner.
I didn't go that way.
Okay. You saw that after? Like how long after?
When I was coming home.
When you were coming home? And you said, shit, I should have just... And you're within eyesight of a police station there, aren't you?
I think it was around down the corner.
Yeah, right up the street. So then you drive, and did you have in your mind, like, I'm going to go to Washington Park, or were you just...
I think I was just driving. I
And-
was just driving. I didn't know what I was doing.
And where was the bag of groceries that you brought out at that time?
In the back seat.
In the back seat?
Yeah.
Behind you, or behind the other side?
Behind me.
Okay. And then you're just driving around, you got to Washington Park, and did you...
I don't even know where the matches came from. I think I had them in my car.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't grab them and take them with me. They were in my
Yeah, at what point did you decide that's the burning was what you were going to do?
I started to walk away, and then I was afraid that there might be evidence on the towel. So it
you
wasn't
did
the
it to-
baby, it was
You were trying to get rid of the towel.
the towel. Or whatever, blanket, towel, whatever.
Why not just take the towel?
Stupid, young, not thinking, not...
Because him and I have talked about this a lot. Like, I've really tried to get in your headspace from that time. Because I pride myself on being a pretty decent person.
I just don't think at that point, and I was physically ill too. I kept passing out.
Yeah.
Because I had no medical attention. I had just had a baby, and I think I just...
But I mean, you at the time, you're alert, you know what's going on, correct? So you set the towel on fire to...
Get rid of the evidence. I wiped again, with the towel, I had wiped the baby off again, and then I think I was afraid my fingerprints or whatever would be on the towel.
Okay.
So I wasn't setting the baby on fire, I was setting the towel on fire, not at that time thinking that
Why not just take the towel off and set it on fire? Or take it with you?
that
Yeah.
not...
Because those matches,
not in the right headset,
Yeah.
not in the right frame of mind, not...
Fair enough. Because we have those matches. They look like the bigger matches you'd keep in your kitchen, not like the book of matches you'd get at the store, right?
Yeah, but we always would do bonfires and stuff too.
Okay.
So
Okay.
So when you
I
say,
might not even have a box of those in my car now. Not just
Old school. Small
Please.
town old school. Gotcha.
so when you were saying that you were not feeling well, passing out, you were able to make it to and from your car without help,
Yeah, no, there was nobody.
no one around?
Nobody knew. Nobody to this day. I'm the only person.
When you were in the park, did you see anybody around?
There were people.
But nobody noticed or didn't really know what was going on?
No.
And that was at nighttime?
Later evening.
Later evening? Before midnight, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So how far from your car did you go with the baby? Like, did you park right on the road and just jump right out, or?
I parked. I don't know where I parked. I don't know my way around Washington
Yep.
Park.
Yeah.
I just parked somewhere and then just walked.
When was the last time you thought about this?
Years ago. I've completely like
You put up a wall?
put up a wall and blocked it out of my memory. Like it's one of those things that I was so ashamed of.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've completely blocked it out.
People can do that. You know.
And I think it's because, I embarrassment and shame, hate myself at that time for it. And then, I have a life, I have 2 great kids, and it's just stupid.
So I guess I got two other things. Have you ever did you keep any trinkets of the baby,
No.
anything like that?
No, I mean, it was so fast.
Any
was
any photos of you from that time you still have?
No.
No.
Ever like write a diary or like a journal about it?
No.
Okay.
No. I have nothing. Like I said, it was nobody knew. Not one person knew anything from the time I got pregnant till what happened, and to this day.
So the other part of this is, right, because you're not the first person to do something like this. It happens a lot more than you think, right? And in preparation for this, I've done a lot of research, and one of the things, actually, it's going to sound crazy, but I'm going to ask you. So we now have a sample of your DNA, right? We had a search warrant for it as well, just so you're aware. If we insert that into, now you said you don't watch true crime stuff, you don't watch any podcasts, so I'm going to educate you a little bit here. There's a system called CODIS, right? So a lot of times there will be crimes or remains found, right? And we can't identify the person. And what we'll do is put their DNA in CODIS. And eventually, we'll get a hit as soon as their DNA hits the system. Like, you've never been arrested,
Never.
You've never given a sample of DNA or anything, right? So my question to you is this. If I put your DNA into CODIS, which I can do, right? We can do that. Is that going to hit to any other human remains that have been found anywhere and it's anywhere in the country?
No.
Are you positive?
Positive.
This is the only time?
Yes.
You're sure? Because now is the time to get ahead of it.
Positive. Never.
Okay. And I
I'm
honestly,
a cut and dry, clean, rule following
yeah.
person.
Monday to Friday you work, you leave the house at 7:19 to 7:46. The afternoon you get home 4:46 to 5:29 at night. On the weekends you go away with Brian sometimes, I'm sure spend the night at his house. Now that Josh is back at Sienna, you got an empty nest, it's just you and the cat, right? Yeah. So no, by all accounts you live a cookie cutter life. But unfortunately what we want to talk to you about was 27 years ago. But while we're speaking, obviously I have to, 1, advise you of what can happen. It'd be messed up if I didn't, right? 2 is offer you the opportunity, because believe you me, other people, that's happened. A long time ago. You're a different person.
Yeah.
It's a lifetime ago. Right? But we all deserve the answers. Even yourself, like the reflection on who you were at that time, right? And
25-year-old girl who made a mistake and didn't know how to handle it and was embarrassed and didn't ask for any help.
yeah, I mean, I also see it too as, and correct me if I'm wrong, but seeing how having this newborn is going to mess up what you have going on. Is that fair?
It's fair. It's
Yeah.
fair. And I mean, ashamed, embarrassment. Like I said, I was a town babysitter. I love kids, and I don't, to this day, don't know how I did that.
Yeah.
I think you just, you freak out and
Yeah. I mean,
it's
yeah.
you know,
No.
just, You look at my phone now, even it's my friends. Like I don't know. I don't have an answer. I don't know.
It happens.
It's,
It's sometimes things get away from people. Because I guarantee if that happened to you now, it wouldn't play the same way.
no, even my kids. Anything happened with my kids now. They had, my daughter's not in a relationship. My son is. He's been with this girl for a couple of years, and I say to them all the time, "Come to me."
Right.
I just.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I blocked it out.
I mean, were you aware at that time you could bring the child to a hospital? You could bring it to a
Yes,
farm?
but like I said, I think heat of the moment,
Just killed?
I honestly don't have an answer. I think I just panicked and,
Yeah.
I.
You don't have to explain anything
No,
to me.
I'm trying to myself too.
Yeah. All right, Keri. Well, one of the last things we got to do, police work's all about documentation, right? So we got to go through, get your formal statement about what happened here. Everything we just talked about in some substance just boiled down, and lock that down so we can do our jobs here. And then we'll take a second, figure out where we're at, and see if you're getting out of here, you're staying, whatever's going to happen, right? So we got to do that real quick, okay? So 9:06:24. Time is Keri, right?
Yes.
Mazzuca.
Mhm.
Date of birth.
4772.
And the address is, oh, I got it right here.
6234 Ostrander Road.
6234 Ostrander Road, and it's Altamont, right?
It is.
That's weird. I hate when they do that because it's so confusing. Like for us on stuff, like is it a hamlet? Is it a town? They should make this easier.
I have an issue with a tree, and the town's telling me it's county's telling me it's state. You got the.
Yeah, because of the
roads.
146 and Ostrander. It always seems like it's a fight with jurisdictions to do things.
Trees are expensive.
Yeah.
Getting those removed. Just get National Grid to do it.
I was hoping the town would do it, but they're telling me it's county.
So you gotta try and get the county to take care of it.
Let's tell them the town's in the county. There you go. Alright, Monday is 2. Now, Keri, my mother's going to be mad at me for this, but I have to ask you how old you are here. Because I'm not good at
52.
math. 52 years old. I am speaking with detectives, lawyer, about baby. Now, I gotta warn you, we have to do this. Some things might not sound flattering, right? But it's the truth, and these are, we have to tell the truth in these. So it's not to offend you, it's not to belittle you or anything like that.
Right.
We're just writing the truth of what happened here. Okay? So, if you want to just run me through it, like when you moved to Albany, just don't go too fast because I'm pretty slow at writing.
Okay.
So let's do this here.
Oh, so I moved to Albany.
Your words, not mine,
okay.
yours.
I moved to Albany. I don't know the month. In 1997.
Okay, I moved to Albany in 1997. I don't know the month though. Is that correct?
I don't.
and I'm not sure what month. Okay.
Do you have 1997?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Then let's go here.
All right. Whoop.
Whatever you, just recalling the event, you know.
Okay. Do I have to start with, I don't even know what date you said was September 7th?
No, as you remember it. Sometime, whenever you remember. If you don't remember the date, you don't remember.
Okay.
That's one of those things like I was saying, it's the truth as you remember it, you know? So, your words here. This is...
All right. Sometime after moving.
Okay.
I gave birth in my bathtub.
Okay.
After giving birth, I placed my hands.
Hands.
Hey, I don't know if it was one or two.
Okay, just as if you, here's the thing, I don't want you to say something you're not sure of, right? So best.
And
Okay. Place my hand.
over the baby, nose and mouth.
Okay.
I put baby on floor.
Put the baby on the floor.
Cut my umbilical cord.
You're gonna have to help me with umbilical.
UMBILLICA.
Yeah, I think it's
I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds about right. That would be my guess.
Umbilical cord. Thank you. I'm a horrible speller. Okay, I cut my umbilical cord.
I got myself cleaned up and dressed.
Okay.
Put the baby in a bag with a towel. I mean, I don't know if I'm missing things I need to say here.
If there are, so at the end of this, if there's anything that we had talked about before, I'll probably do a question and answer format with you, just because it's a lot on you.
Okay.
You know, I try and make it as easy as I can for people, so we'll take care of that. Just,
Okay.
these are your words.
I carried bag to my car.
Hmm?
I got in and drove.
Got in my car and drove.
I ended up at Washington Park.
Okay.
I took baby.
I'll add in a the there. How about that? I took the baby. Does that work? I took the baby. Okay.
And
Just whatever you did.
And dropped. I put down.
And put it down. Okay.
I set towel on fire.
I set the towel on fire. Okay.
And left.
And left and went.
And left the park and went home.
Anything else?
No.
All right.
No.
No, that's fine. So here, I'm going to do that question answer format I was talking about with you. Do you want me to list Miss or Mrs. Mazzuca? Miss.
Please.
My sister did that too. She kept her married name. Is it for the kids? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
They have nothing to do with their father really, so they want me to keep the name.
That's good you guys talked about it. Not a lot of parents do that actually. You know, seek the input from their kids. It's just kind of, I'm doing what I'm doing. All right, so when you placed your hand over the mouth and nose of the baby, was it breathing?
Yes.
Question marks are so awkward to draw, aren't they? Okay, so did your intentional actions cause the death of the baby?
Yes.
See how the question answer format just kind of helps out in the end for a complete account. So did you know what you were doing would cause the death or cause the baby to die?
Yes. I don't know how else to answer that. No.
It's the truth. Like I said, these are all just writing down the
Just
truth. It's
to answer that. No.
It's the truth. Like I said, these are all just writing down the
just-
truth. It's a factual. All this is a factual account of what
Right.
you remember from that time.
Right.
It could make someone look great. It could make someone look like shit. But the truth is the truth. So where was the towel when you set it on fire?
Under baby? By baby?
Under baby? Or under or by baby?
Yes. I'm not really sure. Near the baby.
I think I just have one last question, unless you have any. Here. So my last question is, why did you set the towel on fire while it was on the baby?
To get rid of DNA or fingerprints or.
To get rid of DNA or fingerprints?
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that. I'm saying fingerprints
Oh.
because we're talking DNA today. I didn't.
Game changer, right? Right, wild. All
I
right.
didn't even know if there would be any on the towel. I don't.
Yeah, no, usually we don't get the fingerprints off towels. It's not like CSI. Except no, with the DNA, that gets everywhere.
But I don't watch any of that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't.
Anything else?
Is it?
Hey, Keri, so give this a read for me. If there's anything that you don't agree with that's not correct, you would like changed, please let me know. Like I said, that's just the documentation of your version of events. If you can't read my handwriting, correct?
Okay.
Barely, right?
No, it's actually very nice.
Is that all right? So I just need to, I'm going to close this out. I'm going to write a paragraph here just that I've given the statement of my own free will and all that good stuff. I'll make sure I have you read that before we're over here. Okay, so let me just write your name up top here. Keri Mazzuca. It's, you gotta dot the I's, cross the T's. Okay, so just read that last little bit that I added in there. So here's what we need to do. So lastly, I need you to read this out loud for me.
All statements made herein are punishable as Class A misdemeanor pursuant to Section 210.45 of Penal Law
Yeah.
of the State of New York.
So all that's saying, if you're lying is crime, it doesn't appear that you're lying, so don't worry about it. So here, take that. Place your initials after York. Just state that you understand that. All right, and then sign right here. Now this one's going to be a little different because after each time you respond, I just want you to put your initials. Yep, right after baby here too, that's you.
Do you need a signature on that one?
Oh, yeah, shit. Sorry. Thank God you're paying attention. Alright. Initial there. Initial after, just to close out so I can't add anything. And actually, one more thing. What I want you to do is draw a line from right here to right here. Yep. And then put your initials on it. That way nothing can be added to your version of events. Yep. And sign right there. I'll also sign it in front of you, and Bob will witness it here.
Yep.
And that way it's official. And then we're going to step out and figure out exactly what we're going to do. Fair? Anything we didn't ask you that you would like to add in, or you think's important, by the way? It's important to hear your voice too, right? Like,
No, I mean, it happened. I was stupid. I was dumb. I was young. I was embarrassed, and I honestly, I'm kind of glad it's over because somebody else knows at this point.
you feel relieved.
I do, in a way. Yeah.
That had to eat you up.
For years it did.
Yeah.
But then
Now you've made peace with it.
I did. I think after having my kids, and I don't know. I don't know if I made peace with it. I just.
Learn to cope with it, I should
I guess,
say.
yes.
Well, that's like any trauma, you know. It doesn't matter if it's
5 years, 20 years.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's military service, first responder, you know,
Mhm.
car crash.
I mean, I've had so much other crap in my life. You know, my house robbed, my divorce. You know, it's just.
Yeah.
Now, if you can find the people that robbed my house years ago, that'd be.
Well, been a little busy with some other things, and it's Guilderland. If they did it here, I would catch them, I swear to God. I love investigating burglaries, actually.
Do you?
They're one of my favorite. You know why? 'Cause they're so hard. I love them. They never found who broke in your house?
They did not find who broke into my house, and the weirdest thing was whoever broke into my house took all of our all my jewelry, all the crap, everything. Didn't touch anything in the kids' rooms.
That's one of your kids' friends.
No, they think it was because I live by the industrial park. They think it was one of the people.
I'm just telling you. That's
My kids were like 5 and
Oh, yeah.
7.
People that like were on the train tracks, like coming through. That does happen.
Could be a vagrant. All right. You good on water? Do you need anything else, man?
No,
Okay.
Do you use restroom or anything?
no. My daughter, I'm sure, probably called me 15 times from Chicago, but you know,
She an early riser?
she works.
Oh. What's the time difference? Hour
An
or
hour.
2? Hour. Okay. All right, Keri, hang tight a second here. Hey, Keri.
Yes.
We're just firming up one last thing, and then we're gonna be getting you out of here.
Okay.
I
Sorry.
don't mean to keep you waiting or anything like that. It's a lot, you know. So just bear with me.
What's happening?
You're going home.
Am I being charged,
No.
arrested, anything?
No.
Okay.
Like I said, we're.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to block the AC.
We're honestly, it's a puzzle. We're putting it together. As far as people getting in trouble, I really don't worry about that. This is an investigation.
Yeah.
If that makes
I
sense.
just didn't know if there would be further, like there would be more going
Yeah.
forward.
I'll explain more when I come back in. We're just trying to find something real quick that we want to show you, and then we'll be on our getting you a ride to your car. Okay. All right. So you good? You need water or anything? Are you good?
Heat?
Well, no, you don't have that. Well, you say that, except for yesterday the AC was out and it was like 90 degrees in here. So.
All right. Do you know what time is it?
It is 10:48 a.m. I'm sorry, these things take time.
No, I know. I understand. It's just my daughter's probably like panicking because she can't get a hold of me.
Yeah. We'll get you all set here in a moment, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. Okay. Let us get what we gotta get. I'll come back in, explain everything to you, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Okay. Thank God we got people that are good at their jobs out there that can find this quickly for us. Oh, all good. So, Mike. All right, maybe we might be waiting a second here. How familiar with him are you? Like,
Don't talk to him at all.
Back then,
Ben?
I'm saying.
Oh, very.
Very.
Yeah, we went to school together. Graduated. He graduated before me, but yeah.
Like you recognize him walking down the street
Yeah.
if you saw him. Okay. How many times do you think you saw him in person?
Over the years?
Yeah.
Thousands. Like I said, we were in high school together. No.
No. Okay. We might be on the wrong one. Like I said, it's been a lot today, so it might be the wrong. I think they got the wrong name, but this is why we check her work, right? So moving forward, right? I know you asked, am I getting arrested? You are not being arrested today. Okay. What I can tell you is this is an investigation, right? There's a lot of moving parts to it. And part of that is we might have to talk to you again at some point, okay? So don't be surprised. I would try and not just pop up at your house randomly because, I don't know who you have there.
My kids, yeah. Or my son and his girlfriend.
Right. So I ideally probably wouldn't do that. Okay, it'd probably be a coordinated thing where I'd call you and say, hey, Keri, I want to link up with you. But if it's something like real urgent, we might go to the house. We try and use as much discretion as possible, not to blow you up.
Right.
We've talked to people about all kinds of stuff of very sensitive natures, and
right.
It is what it is. We're not trying to put anyone on blast or anything like that, right? So expect that. That is a possibility, right? It's not the sense of like we're going to go screaming from the rooftops. Keri Mazzuca did, this thing in 1997. This is all about the truth.
So it's not going to be on the news like tomorrow, so I have to warn my parents?
No, it's not going to be on the news, right? Now moving forward, is it possible that you could be arrested at some point? Maybe. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's people want answers. I showed you. I mean, do you remember watching the news around that time?
I didn't watch the news around that time.
It was a big deal.
Because I didn't
want to see. Yeah. Well, I will tell you that it was a rather big deal and a lot of people paid attention to it, right? Does that mean you're a bad person? No. And people make mistakes all the time, right? And as I've said numerous times to you, and I will continue to say throughout my life, everything is explainable, where your headspace was at that time. And I didn't live your life. I don't know what you were, as I was telling you,
right.
What you were seeing, what you were smelling, what you were hearing, what you were thinking. So all that shit goes into consideration, right? So, I mean, it is a possibility, right? So, however, this is one of those things where you could gamble it, like, hey, maybe nothing will ever happen. I'm good, right? Or this is something where you can tell your parents, give them a call or whatever, and be like, hey,
I want to stop and this is a person thing.
Yeah. It's just the whole thing, and a lot of times, usually we're used to a little bit more street violence down here, right? Like
I'm worried about my career and everything too,
Yeah, rightfully so. You don't know. I mean, which is partially why I have to ask you, are you thinking about harming yourself?
No.
Okay.
No.
Any access to guns, anything like that?
No.
Okay. All right. You understand why I have to ask, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes.
This is him?
Yes.
Okay. That's baby's dad?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was just explaining to her, we might have to pop back in, ask her some questions at one point. We'll probably try and do a coordinate through a call.
It's freezing here, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
She was just asking about if she's going to be arrested, and I told her we don't know, right? There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things we got to do. Definitely a possibility. For 100%, I do not want you leaving here and be like, I'm good.
No, I don't feel that way at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm good about not being in trouble.
Yeah,
or
no.
that.
I don't feel that way at all.
Yeah. Is there a possibility it could happen? Yeah, maybe. Is there a possibility it couldn't? You never know. So
I'm banking on it will, because that's my life.
What do you mean that's my life?
It just, that black cloud,
Yeah. Some people are more prone to just fall into tough shit. Yeah. I try and watch my language, but you know,
Sorry.
sometimes they just flow.
Sorry.
But it's honestly, you know, it boils down to I'm a different person I was 27 years ago. You know, like even little things, right? Like talking about the fire. Like, no, I was trying to, because if you look at it from the outside, right? Someone sees this as this baby set on fire, and they're like, what monster did that? But you lay out your logic of, no, I wasn't trying to hurt the baby, I was trying to destroy physical evidence, right? So honestly, explaining things like that and talking it out, things aren't always what they appear, right? I mean, is it a killing of a human being? Yes. Yeah, it's an intentional killing, but the heinous part of it, you offered an explanation, which, okay, fair enough. So as far as dealing with that and prepping people, if that's something you choose to do, go ahead. You know, I'm not going to tell you what to do or how to live your life.
Right.
You know. You got anything?
Nope. Pretty good. We went over everything.
Do you have any questions of me? I've asked you a lot of questions.
No, you know.
Yeah. This whole thing's unfortunate. I
It's
wish.
very, very unfortunate, and I wish I'd come forward years ago, but again, 25, young, stupid, didn't know how to handle, nobody knew anything, and I came back, and like I said, I blocked it out of my
Yeah.
head, and
It's called compartmentalization.
Mhm.
People do it.
I just, you know, I'm now, hindsight, you know, like I worry about my kids and my relationship with my kids, and
Oh yeah. I
you
mean.
know, I mean, they don't speak with their father at all. I'm all they have, and this could.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Everyone's got skeletons in their closet, just of different degrees,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but this is killing somebody. You know what I mean? Like, this is actual murder.
Yeah.
It's not. You know.
You know what though? The path of dealing with it, and you probably do feel better actually telling someone. I guarantee you'll sleep the hardest tonight you've ever slept in your life.
Mm.
I'm telling you.
It's like a huge load that's been lifted, you know, getting it out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think because I've just hid it for so long that you know, it's like I almost forgot about it, to be honest with you, and that's,
Yeah.
and now, no, I won't sleep tonight,
Well,
because I'll be worried, you know, I'm worried about life. Not my, you know, I won't physically harm myself or anything like that, I mean, just the consequences now.
right.
Where, yeah.
Getting out, you
Yeah,
know,
where it
people,
goes from here.
you know, it's on the news, my life, you know, my friends, I lose my friends, I lose my family, I lose my,
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Those are all very legitimate concerns. I'm not gonna lie to you. Those are legitimate concerns.
Mhm.
But you can't put a price on doing the right thing.
Right.
Even if you made a mistake, as bad as it could be.
This one was bad.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's not good. But, you know, dealing with it head on, right? Like, the little dance we played at first, like, that can only last so long.
I know. And I even now, I think I just blocked it out so much that
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to say I was lying to you, because I wasn't. I was just,
It takes a little bit to deal with.
right,
That's not
I
something you
think
come
it's
right
just-
out and say.
No, I think I just,
I mean, here's the thing. At the end of the day, it's over.
is it though?
Well, the fear of, oh my God, someone's going to find out. We know.
Right.
We know. You know? And, you know, trying to minimize things, that's not the way to deal with it. Deal with it head on.
Mhm.
And the truth head on is, you had a kid, you freaked out, you didn't want to
Killed
have
it.
the kid anymore, you put your hand over its mouth, you stopped its breathing, you killed it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you set a towel on fire that was on the baby to destroy the evidence. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, we're going to get you out of here in a minute. Okay?
Am I like, I'm supposed to be going to Florida in November. Am I free to go to Florida in November, or is that a down the road thing? Is that a?
I mean, that's a down the road thing. I mean, let's take it one thing at a time here, right? So, we'll go from there. Okay?
Yeah,
Seriously, this is a lot for what, let's deal with what we just unpacked.
I know, I just need to know, like, you know what I mean?
There's a lot of uncertainties in life, right? You never know what each day is going to bring, because I'm not going to tell you a definitive one way or another, because I don't know.
And is this like jail time?
It possibly, yes. You know, it could be. That's what I'm trying to explain to you, Keri. Is like,
You don't know.
I don't know. These things are beyond our control. What I can tell you is, I have a very simple job to do, and that's put a puzzle together and figure out what the truth is.
You figured out the truth.
And we, you and I, and Bob, through an honest conversation, have figured out what the truth is. Okay? So give us a sec, we're going to step out, we're going to collect your stuff, we have your car keys, we have your phone, we have your purse out there, we have your ID here, and we're going to get you a ride. Okay? Alright. Hang on. Alright, Keri, grab your ID there. Yep, there's a trash right there. And right down this way, these guys.